Hey everyone, I wanted to share a little story with you guys. So today I was late for a meeting. All right. And I came in and people were already discussing stuff, and I didn't really know what they were discussing actually when I entered. And once one of the stakeholders looked at me and go, "Hey, hi mangoes." And I was like, "Hi," and I immediately started sharing all my priorities with them for this team. I know. I can hear the pigeons at the back too. That was really, really rude and a little self centered. In fact, it's what we call, if you think about it, it's what we call oversharing to a certain extent, right? I mean, yeah, oversharing, we kind of get oversharing usually, don't share personal details about yourself, don't share, some, religion stuff and cultural things, not work things, what relate things. Yeah, we know those, but actually, if you think about it, when you overshare in a meeting that might, or in a particular scenario that might not have anything real focus on you, that's kind of oversharing too, even if it's work priorities, right? And so I had done some reflection, and first and foremost, for those that for those that went for that meeting, I apologize for my bad behavior. All right, now next up, we really do need to figure out, right, in basic sense, how to stop ourselves from doing that, especially when we are the, goal oriented type of people. I can be very goal oriented from time to time, and it kind of gets to people, right? So, how do we make sure that we take into consideration and empathize with others, right? So, one of the things to really focus on, and I've got my notes here, I've got to look at it, so don't mind me, all right, is really focus on why this conversation is happening in the first place. What's the purpose of the conversation in the first place? Conversations have many different purposes. If it's for you to say something out, right, that's fine, then that's the focus of that conversation, right? But it might not be. It might, in general, it focuses a lot on perhaps maybe the particular stakeholder, right? That, and what the particular stakeholder cares about. And in basic sense, you need them to speak first, so that then you can then position your content anyway, right? So that's really important to be mindful of. So think about the purpose of this conversation, the purpose of this meeting. Is the purpose of the meeting to understand the feedback of the stakeholders? Is the purpose of the meeting to update the stakeholders? Those things matter as to how much sharing you should be doing in the first place, and whether it's placed appropriately. The second thing really is, that if you're late for a meeting, check what they're discussing first, which I did not, because I was being very self centered. So, light bulb moment for me. And that's really important, like, especially when you're late, or you're like cutting into a conversation, you're coming late for a meeting, right? So, be mindful of that. It's not all about you. It's not all about me. All right. Okay. That's the second thing. I think perhaps the last thing is really just be mindful of, whether the timing is accurate in the first place, whether people are, in the frame of mind to listen to what you have to say. So things that you might want to be checking is like, I'm sorry, so would it be a good time for me to share some of my initiatives with you guys, or should I leave it for later? Those are things that'd be great to just check. And then, we can spend, your meeting can focus on whatever they need to talk about, but then, they'll allocate some time for you, right, to talk about certain initiatives as well. And that's fine, because basically at least people know, oh, right, she's here because she really needs to share some stuff with us. She really needs to get some priorities and help for the work that she's doing. So those are some basic things just to be mindful of when you realize you might be oversharing some of the things that you do. So the first, right, is really to ask yourself, what does the meeting focus on? Who does the meeting focus on first? That's one. Before sharing anything else, understand what the purpose is. The second is that if you come late for a meeting, check what they're discussing first before going full blown on priorities that you care about. All right. And the last thing is that timing and checking whether or not people, are are able to accept your content right now. One way to do that is to ask a very simple question around, sorry, is this the right time for me to share a bit about some of the things that I'm working on? Or maybe we could have 5 minutes at the end of the meeting for me to do that. Those are some of the things you can absolutely do. All right. I hope you found this useful, and do not overshare like I did. All right. Chat with you guys soon. See you. Bye.